Once upon a time, in a lush African forest, there lived a tortoise named Mbeku. Now, Mbeku wasn't your regular tortoise. He was clever, maybe too clever for his own good, and he loved to talk. But here's the thing about Mbeku: while he had a silver tongue, his stomach ruled his world. If there was food, Mbeku was there, scheming and plotting how to get the biggest share. One day, Mbeku overheard the birds chirping about a great feast. It wasn't just any feast, it was the feast, held in the sky by the Sky King himself. Now, you might be wondering, how can anyone have a feast in the sky? Well, this is Africa, a land where the impossible becomes possible. The birds had been invited to the Sky King's table, but, of course, poor Mbeku, with no wings, wasn't on the guest list. But did that stop him? Oh no, not our Mbeku. Mbeku approached the birds with his most charming smile. "My dear feathered friends," he began, "wouldn't it be wonderful if I joined you at this great feast?" The birds exchanged puzzled glances. "Mbeku, you can't even fly," one of them said. With a few flaps, Mbeku soared into the sky alongside the birds. The sight was breathtaking: clouds as soft as cotton candy, the sun shining golden, and the Sky King's palace gleaming in the distance. When they arrived, the table was set with the most delicious food Mbeku had ever seen: roasted yams, spicy stews, sweet fruits, the works. But just as everyone was about to dig in, Mbeku stood up and cleared his throat. "My dear friends," he said, "since I'm new to this sky feast, I've decided to take a new name. From now on, call me all of you." The birds, confused but not wanting to ruin the mood, nodded. "All right, all of you," they said. Then Mbeku added, "Oh, and one more thing. The Sky King has asked that the food be served to all of you first. Now, you can see where this is going, right?" Plate after plate was brought out, and Mbeku ate everything. The birds could only watch in disbelief as their greedy friend devoured the entire feast, leaving nothing but crumbs. When the feast was over, the birds confronted Mbeku. "You tricked us," they cried. But Mbeku just shrugged, his stomach full and his face smug. It wasn't until it was time to leave that Mbeku's cleverness turned against him. You see, the birds were furious, and one by one, they plucked their feathers from Mbeku's wings. Before he could protest, he was left featherless, stranded high in the sky. "How will I get down?" Mbeku wailed. "That's your problem," the birds replied, flying off one by one. Mbeku looked down at the earth far below. The once clever tortoise was now just a scared, shell-bound creature stuck in the clouds. After much thought, he called out to the birds one last time. "Please, my friends, at least tell my wife to spread soft things on the ground so I can jump." The birds agreed, but their anger hadn't cooled. Instead of delivering the correct message, they told Mbeku's wife to spread hard, sharp objects. When Mbeku finally mustered the courage to jump, he crashed onto the hard ground, his shell shattering into pieces. But he survived. Slowly, he pieced his shell back together, though it was never the same again. From that day on, tortoises have had cracked shells, a reminder of Mbeku's greed and the price of cleverness without wisdom.
So, what can we learn from this? Well, 1. Don't let greed guide your actions. 2. Cleverness is great, but when it's used to deceive, it always comes back to bite you. And finally, always share, because there's enough for everyone.
I hope you enjoyed this tale as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. Folktales like these aren't just stories, they're lessons wrapped in humor and magic. If you'd like to hear more, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which African folktale you'd like me to cover next. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep believing, and remember, every story has a lesson, and every lesson has the power to change your world. Thanks for watching.